hole at the middle, 25, 30, and he's out across the 30 to the 32-yard line, a gain of 14 for Pipkin.
Good play. It had a great hole on the right side right there, but I think he made a cut to the inside, but if he'd have cut to the outside, he had Pope out there blocking, and he might have gone to the house.
1st and 10 for the Dogs now at their own 33-yard line. 1st and 10 at the 33. That was a gain, as it turns out, of 15 yards because it went from the 18 to the 39 to the 33. 1st and 10 Dogs at their own 33. Ball on the right hash. Tight end right. Twins to the left. And Goree is split out to the right. Here's Bogenshoes. Handoff Pipkin up to the 35 and still on his feet and is down at about the 38-yard line. A gain of 5 on the play.
And he's covering that ball up, too, after a good run there. He's got both hands on the ball. I'm sure they saw something in the films with the way that Chapel Hill might have been stripping the ball because the way Pipkin's running up the middle, he's always got both hands on it. So they must have seen him strip because we teach him to strip, too.
All right, we're going to give him, you either call that a gain of 5 or a gain of 6. I'm going to call it a gain of 6 to the 44, making it 2nd down and 4 for Carthage at their own 44-yard line. The ball is spotted about 6 yards right of the left hash. We've got 2 receivers split to the left, I formation behind Bogenshoes. Handoff Pipkin straight ahead and is stopped right at the 40-yard line. A gain on the play of 1 yard.
Yeah, they stuffed that up pretty good right there. The whole defensive line stuffed us in, and there's a bunch of meat right there at the line of scrimmage. You really didn't have anywhere to run.
2:15 to play in the first quarter, and a 7-7 tie. Carthage has overcome 2 rough plays, tough plays to stomach on offense. A fumble on the first play of the game, and then receiving a punt. It hit one of our blockers and was recovered by Chapel Hill at our 22-yard line, but our defense held, in fact, forced a Chapel Hill fumble. Here's a big 3rd down play here, and the handoff goes to Pipkin. Pipkin trying to get loose, and he does, I think, for the 1st down. One Chapel Hill defender had him by the ankle, and he was trying to get loose for the 1st down, and 2nd effort and 3rd effort by Pipkin, I think, picked it up.
It did, and that was the first time we've seen him, I think, run that play this year when he comes in motion. Might have been the 2nd time, but he got him to the outside, and really the guy had him by the shoestring. If he didn't have him, he might have been gone because there was nobody else there to help. They came real quick in pursuit, but he might have had a real good gain there.
1st down and 10 for Carthage at the Carthage 44. And let's see, we've got the head linesman calling time. Looks like a player in the Chapel Hill secondary has an equipment problem. And they call timeout for him, so that means that he's going to have to go out of the ball game for at least one play. That being one of their wideouts, Avery Henderson, who also starts on defense. 1st and 10 now for Carthage at their 44-yard line. All right, Bogan shoots under center. Twins to the left, 1 to the right. Here's Bogey. He hands off to Pipkin. Pipkin coming right, and tough running there. 2nd effort gets him 2 yards to the 46.
Yeah, because he shouldn't even got to the line of scrimmage. They defensed that. I saw their linebacker recognize the play. He stepped up into on the outside right there, and he didn't have anywhere to run, but he did get 2 yards. That was tough running on his part.
I thought we were going to have an injury timeout there. Chapel Hill player very slow to get up, and I would think the referee's not going to let him continue, and timeout called by the referee. We will not take a break here because the Chapel Hill player is going to go off the field. Looks a little groggy. So no timeout call here. We've got 55 seconds left to go in the first quarter in a 7-7 tie. And Dustin, we will go down to you after this play right here.
We may have to go down to him a bunch because I can't seem to get the commercials running.
2nd down and 8 now for Carthage at their own 46-yard line. Bogan shoots in the gun. Snap back to Bogan shoots. Wants to throw. Pretty good protection. He throws for Pope, and it's through his hands at the Chapel Hill 49-yard line. Okay, Dustin, down to you.
Well, that was a good pass by Bogenshoot. We had some of those last week, drop passes. We got to catch those. We know that Pope's going to be double covered, but the player that went out for Chapel Hill was their all-state defensive tackle, defensive end. He went out of the game. If you notice the games that Chapel Hill's played, they've given up a lot of points and a lot of yards, and their first 2 games were doing a good job of getting after their defense.
All right, now the Bulldogs send Rutherford wide out to the right, Twins out to the left. Bogan shoots in the gun once again, snap back to him. Pretty good protection. Now it breaks down. Bogan shoots going to be sacked back at the 35-yard line. This is a big, big loss coming up here of about 11 yards.
Yeah, and they just collapsed on him. Now, I don't know if that was a coverage sack or they rushed him pretty fast there. So, and he made the wrong cut. He cut right into the guy. If he'd have cut to the left, I think he'd have been running out of there. But to no avail. We're punting the ball. 10 seconds. It's going to be the end of the first quarter. Darren, I want to tell you something. I'm having problems with the commercials at the home office, so you may have to start playing them from there.
All right, that turned out to be a loss of 10 for Bogan Shoots, which will bring up 4th down and 18, and undoubtedly a punting situation for Carthage. All right, do you think have you got the commercial? Let's try it again. There we go. Back up.
Ken Turner Pharmacy on the Square in downtown Carthage has what you need to make you feel better. Not only will Ken Turner Pharmacy fill your prescription promptly, they'll also deliver it to your door. That way you can stay in bed and get better. Whether it's medication you need or a special gift from our gift shop that no one else will have, stop by Ken Turner Pharmacy. Ken Turner Pharmacy on the Square in Carthage, where Carthage's finest tradition.
When you're looking for high-quality personal care from people on whom you can depend, choose East Texas Medical Center in Carthage. The employees are people you know and trust. ETMC Carthage, an East Texas medical tradition. Here when you need them, yet able to refer you when circumstances arise. ETMC Carthage, a tradition of excellence, enhanced by becoming part of a system. ETMC Carthage, proud sponsors of the Carthage High School Battling Bulldogs.
All right, here's a punt by Jimmy Gonzalez, and it's a line drive kick. They're going to have a chance to return it. This is number 5, catching it at the 32, and he is pushed back after he got to about the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that was good coverage down there by number 15, Major Harris. It's one of them Harris boys. And Trent Jackson was also down there on the tackle, and also the Donald kid was down there on it. So,
boy, if Major Harris was down there, that's pretty impressive. He's a deep snapper. Well, and he was down there on the tackle. Way to go, Major Harris.
Well, they're not allowed to block him, you know. I mean, that's
true.
So he can go fire out of there.
All right, 1st down and 10 for Chapel Hill at their own 34-yard line. 1st and 10 for Chapel Hill at their 34. We've got 3 of the officials over on the far side conferring. Looks like they've got it resolved, whatever it is. And the referee's about ready to signal that we're ready for play here. 7-7 tie. We've just started the second quarter. Coming to you live from Bulldog Stadium in Carthage, Texas. Snap back to Signs. Signs hands off to the running back. This is Reagan coming to his right. Pretty good hold. 35-40. And out across the 45. Has the 1st down at the 47-yard line. A pickup on the play of 13.
Yeah, and he was hit real hard by Justin Williams. Justin was coming from the opposite side of the field playing linebacker and just ran over him. Ran through him as they teach you to do as a tackle. But they're back to the line of scrimmage again.
All right, 1st and 10, Chapel Hill at their 47, going for the no huddle. And here's the handoff going to Reagan. Reagan this time going left, flag on the play. And he does get loose from one tackler, but does not get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1 pending the flag.
That's a holding call area that came from the back judge. Or what is he, the referee? The referee? Let's see what he says here.
That would be the referee who threw that one.
See if we got him mic'd.
Yeah, let's see if we can got him mic'd.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot remains 2nd down.
All right.
So the second penalty of the ball game against Chapel Hill, that one for 10 yards, moves it back to the Chapel Hill 37. 1st down and 20 for Chapel Hill at their own 37-yard line. Avery Signs, their outstanding senior quarterback, is in the gun. He has been the entire ball game so far. They send 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Signs waits for the snap. There he's got it. Play action fake. He wants to throw it. Throws it over the middle. And this one is caught down there at the Carthage 41-yard line. Hit pretty hard by Pope. But he made the catch. And they're going to pick up the 1st down on a 1st and 20.
Yeah, that was just a good play. He drug him over the middle, and he was wide open. I could see him throwing his hands up. And that's one of the best passes tonight from Chapel Hill.
That's a 23-yard completion to the Carthage 40-yard line. 1st and 10, Chapel Hill at the Bulldog 40. Snap back to Signs, and here's Signs faking the handoff. He's going to run it himself, and he's hit hard. Does get back to the line of scrimmage, but he took a lick that time.
Yeah, this is not going to be a 60-point night for either team, and I think it's a tribute to our defense so far that we've held them to 7 points when they're averaging 60-something points a game.
2nd and 10 for Chapel Hill at the Carthage 40. So we've got them in 2nd and long. Of course, they're probably in 4-down territory. All right, they've got twin receivers to each side. Snap back to Signs. Quarterback draw. He's going to run with it. He goes left, and he gets pretty good yardage. Gets 6 yards to the 34.
Yeah, we had a guy try to arm tackle him in the backfield, and it didn't work, and so he does get good yardage. They are in 4-down territory, and he's getting up gimpy. Somebody is number 15.
That's him. Signs is noticeably limping right now, and I don't know whether he's going to be able to continue.
They call a timeout.
And they do call a timeout. Timeout called on the field by Chapel Hill. We'll take a break. We'll return with Carthage Bulldog football on your sports beat station, KGAS.
Your back-to-school headquarters is the Popcorn Place in Carthage. Beautiful backpacks, book bags, and all kinds of Bulldog gear for the teacher or for the fan. The Popcorn Place, they're located in the Carthage Twin Cinema Plaza. The Popcorn Place, where you find back-to-school needs and find gifts for the teacher or the football fan. The Popcorn Place in Carthage.
All right, third.
I'm Danny Cole with Marshall Toyota. Looking for a good used car? Check out our great selection of Toyota certified used vehicles with financing as low as 2.9%. These vehicles carry a 160-point inspection to Toyota's strict conditions and standards, include a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty, 7-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, 1-year roadside assistance, Carfax history report, and price to fit any budget. New or used, we've got them every day at Marshall Toyota.
Chapel Hill using a timeout because Avery Signs, their outstanding senior quarterback, came up limping slightly after the last play. We do not know if he'll be in there. I would expect if there's any way he will continue, but I do not see him coming back out there. So Signs, at least for the moment, is not going to be in the lineup for Chapel Hill. They're going to bring in a new quarterback, and this is number 16. And let's see, don't have his number right here. Here's the pitch back to the snap back to him, and he keeps it on the draw and picks up big yardage. He breaks it. He's going to score. The reserve quarterback comes in, and he goes 34 yards on a quarterback draw.
And sometimes when you bring a new quarterback in you know nothing about, that will happen to you, that you don't know how to defense that man. And he was single set back in the backfield and raced it in and looked pretty good himself as a backup. 13-7 now, 9:46 left in the first half. And they bring he's a holder, too, looks like on the kick.
Yes, Signs was the regular holder, and so now the reserve quarterback will hold for Tyler Brown. As we await the extra point, here's the snap, and the kick is away, and it is going to be good. He got it just inside. It appeared that left upright. Just got it inside, and it's 14-7. Chapel Hill, 9:46 to go until halftime.
Hello, this is Melinda Leslie with Copper Falls & Company, a full-service jewelry and gift store located on the Carthage Square. We also buy gold and silver. Gold has never been this high. Take advantage of the high prices. Come by to see us. Let us weigh your gold and silver, make you an offer. You're under no obligation. I'd be scared to mail my precious jewelry to some stranger or go see one in a motel room. When you come into Copper Falls & Company, you know us. We've been your trustworthy hometown jewelers for over 20 years. Why not sell your gold, take a trip, enjoy life? It's way too short. Give us a call at 903-693-9944.
All right, Anthony Kincaid was that young man, number 16. He is one of their wideouts. In fact, has 13 receptions this year for 237 yards. And so his very first snap from scrimmage as the quarterback takes it in the shotgun and goes 34 yards on that quarterback draw. Okay, Dustin, we've got a little bit of time. Boy, they've been successful on that quarterback draw twice now, haven't they?
pretty successful on the zone read. You know, we saw a lot of that last week, and maybe they're trying to implement some of that and beat us to the corners because we didn't do a good job in the first half last week on that zone read, and they've been running that a little bit. They hadn't passed a lot, but our defense is playing a whole lot better than it was last week. Even though we've given up 2 touchdowns, but we're putting a lot of big hits on their players, and we're playing a lot more aggressive, and we're getting some penetration on that front four.
All right, Tyler Brown ready to kick off. Remember the first one, he went deep, then he kicked a line drive kick that went out of bounds. They're going to go deep again this time.